Right. So for this checkpoint, we're going to go over the primary selection methods, the ones that you're going to be using a lot and will want to use here in Photoshop. Read this green part, right? It's all about the importance in Photoshop of making selections, right? We're editing images. You're taking an image and you're wanting to remove the subject from it. You're wanting to cut something out. We have to use the tools of Photoshop, the selection tools. We have to target that area in some way, cut it out, copy it, get it on its own layer, etc. And there are the artificial intelligence, there are the AIs, which we're going to show you a few of those here that you're going to want to try first just to see how good Photoshop does. And Photoshop's always getting better. These AI tools, they're new just to last year, and they're continually updating it. So the thing to keep in mind is that when you use the object selection tool or any of these AI methods, the idea is not Photoshop is going to do it perfectly the first time. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does a very good job and you don't have to do any more manual work. But most of the time, Photoshop takes away about maybe 90% of the work from you. And you only have to do a little bit more work using a selection method, which we'll go over here. And that's great because it saves you time. Because Photoshop is about creating and designing, and using the selection methods, that's all kind of like the manual grunt work that no one, it's not really the fun part of Photoshop, but it's the part you kind of have to do in order to get to the fun part. But Photoshop's always making it better. So you're going to click on one of these, all three of these. All three of these you're going to do in this single checkpoint and show me. So you'll just click on it. And if you click on it again, it'll go full resolution. Then you're going to right click on the image with your mouse and go to Save Image As. And then here, choose where you want to save it. Most of the time to your desktop or your downloads is where you're going to want to save it, just so you know where it's at. And then you'll click on Save. You'll do that for each one of these. I already have them here. And all you need to do is drag and drop it onto the Photoshop icon. Okay, so drag and drop. And then there it is. It pops up into Photoshop. Now, if you don't have Photoshop down here in your dock, as it's called yet, you're going to want to go to Go, Applications, and then you're going to find Photoshop here, the blue folder. Double click into it, and then drag and drop it there into your dock. And what you want, hopefully the class should all have it, you want Adobe Photoshop Beta. And the way that you get that, we're going to be using beta for the full year. It has the generative fill and it has other things in it not included yet in the actual Photoshop. So Photoshop Beta is better right now. All you need to do is go to, again, Applications, and you want to find the Creative Cloud, Adobe Creative Cloud here. Click on that, and click on the icon. Over here to the left, you'll see Beta Apps, and you'll click on that. And I already have mine up to date, but you'll see Photoshop Beta here and Install. So click Install there, and you'll get all of the awesome new features that we're going to be using here in this class for Photoshop. Okay, so the first selection method is an AI method that we're going to do here, and it's the object selection tool. So we're just going to get a selection of this blue sheep here. Your object selection tool is over here. It's the fourth tool in your toolbar. And when you click on it, as you can see here, Photoshop's AI is reading all of the different subjects. It's looking at this picture here and it's saying, okay, where are all of the different subjects? Here's a subject, here's one, here's one, here's one. So it takes a moment for it to read where all those subjects are. And as you can see, it highlights it in pink or purple. You can go to your little cog wheel here. You can change the color to a different color. You can change the outline, depth, Go to 1 pixel. You can change the opacity of it, etc. So now mine's green. And all you have to do once it's registered that subject is click on it. And as you can see, the little marching ants, that's what it's kind of called. It's just an active selection. You see that active selection there. So Photoshop, and that's pretty good. I don't have to do any more extra work, really. Photoshop did an excellent job with this picture. And if you hold down Shift, all right, if you want to select more than one of these, if I were not to hold down Shift and just click on this one, you can see that this one is no longer active. The active selection has gone now to this one. If I want to select more than one thing, just hold down Shift, and then you can see that little plus icon in there change, and then click again, and now that one's selected. And if I want to deselect, if I decide I don't want that, hold down the Alt Option key and then click on it, and now that is deselected. So I'm going to deselect this and go back to the one we want here. And now, you know, I can hit delete. I can delete him from the image. I can press Command C to copy, and then Command V to paste. And then here he is on his own layer. All right. Now I can do, maybe I just wanted him and I have my own poster that I'm making here. I can kind of drag him down to here. I can go up to Edit, Free Transform, and it puts this bounding box around him. This is another thing, and I'll go over this frequently. This bounding box, right? You're going to be changing the size of things you cut out frequently. And that is all the Edit, Free Transform. Or as you do it more frequently, you'll get used to the shortcut key, which is Command T for Transform. And I can just pull and resize it. If I want to put them over here in the corner, maybe I have type going up here or something along that nature. So that is the object selection tool. All you have to do is click, let Photoshop register it, and then you got it. So the next one we're going to go over is another automatic AI selection method, and it's just the select subject. It's a good one to go to first, even before the object selection tool. And all you do for that is just go up to Select and Subject. And if we are using the beta option, we have this handy toolbar down here, which gives you the Select Subject key here, as well as the Remove Background. You just click on Remove Background. Maybe you just want to quickly get rid of everything. So Photoshop selected these as the two main subjects, and it didn't quite get rid of that. But it did a lot of the work of removing the background, and it made it non-destructive. All right, we have a mask here, so that background's still there if I want it for any reason. Delete that layer mask. So we'll click on Select Subject, or you can go up to Select up here and go down to Subject. And let's see, Photoshop again. These two are in the foreground, and some of this. So it got a little bit too much, right? I didn't want this sheep or any part of this lawnmower here. So Photoshop did this perfectly. I don't have to make any adjustments, but I need to remove parts of my selection. So in that case, I'm just going to go to my lasso tool. And same thing as before with that object selection when we wanted to remove parts of the selection. You hold your Alt or Option key, and if you look at that lasso, it gets that negative sign. That means wherever I draw now with this lasso tool, it's going to remove that from the selection. So I'm just going to draw a circle right over this. And you can see that's removed. I'm going to hold my space bar, which turns into the hand, and I can move my canvas now. And hold my Alt or Option again and just quickly remove this guy as well. So there we are. Now I have that again as my active selection. And real quick, last one. Whenever you have cut out something, or maybe you have type, or your subject is cut out and it's on a transparent background. So transparent background in the land of Photoshop are these little this checkered, gray and white checkered background. That's just Photoshop saying there is absolutely nothing here. Distinguished from white because, you know, if it were white, then that would be a white fill, you know, a white color fill. But whenever you see just this checkered background, there's absolutely nothing there. The only thing on this layer is just this blue sheep, which means if I wanted to get a selection of him for any reason in order to do something, it would be really easy just to hold my command button and then click on the layer. And there we go. I have a selection of whatever is on this layer. If I had type up here or something else also on this layer 1 and I held my command button and clicked it, that would also be a part of the selection. Now you can't do that obviously with this, right? Say I wanted to get a selection of, I have my full picture here and I just wanted a selection of the blue sheep. If I command click this, right, you can see the active selection is everything. It's the whole square. So it's not targeting anything specifically whenever I command click the layer. It's just selecting everything on that layer. And in this case, it's what is on this layer is this square picture. All right, so that is all for this video.